A budget smartphone packed with great specs, great cameras, great battery life, and most of all, rugged and durable. This little beast here from the Samsung lineup is the Samsung Galaxy J7 Refine, and this is my review. Alright, so as you guys know, I do pros and cons for this, for the phones, and I'm going to start it out with a pro right now. This is a mid-range budget phone, but it does have the Exynos 7885 chip, and the resolution is also 1280 by 720, so that's going to be a pro right there, mainly because of the Exynos chip and the resolution. And people may be saying, well, why would you say that at 720p? Honestly, it looks more like a 1080p display to the naked eye, so I am giving it a pro for being awesome. The battery, we have a 3300 milliamp battery, and this gets me through an entire day on a single charge. With moderate to heavy usage. So yeah, that is a pro. The battery is most definitely a pro. Alright, so one of the cons I would have with the phone right off the bat is that there's no USB Type-C support. It only supports micro USB, which is unfortunate. I think that this phone could have benefited from USB Type-C, but it does run micro USB, so that is a con. Alright, so coming in with a second con would be that there's no fingerprint sensor on the phone. Being that it's a budget smartphone, I think that a fingerprint sensor would have at least been okay, or at least face detection. I don't believe this phone has either, so that is a con. No fingerprint sensor, no face scanner. Alright, so jumping into another con, unfortunately, for the J7 Refine would be the refresh rate. Even though it isn't bad and it works pretty good and there's no stuttering, there's no 120 or nor 140 hertz display. It's a 60 hertz display only, so that kind of hurts it a little bit, being that it's 720p. Now, I'm not saying that the resolution's bad, but being that it's 720p and having only a 60 hertz screen is kind of unfortunate, because there's a lot of budget phones that support 120 hertz and are budget phones, so that is a con. Alright, so jumping into my favorite part, we're going to be doing some pros again, and this is going to be for the camera. We're running a 13 megapixel camera on the front, and I believe a 13 megapixel on the rear as well. And it does support up the full HD 1080p recording, so that is a pro for this phone, that it has full 1080p and that both cameras are 13 megapixels. So pro. Another pro I would have, even though limited, it would be the modes in the camera. You get wide selfie, video, photo, and live focus. It's not a lot, but it's still pretty good, so I'll give that a pro for that one. Probably gonna sound hypocritical for this, but one thing that disappoints me and is a con is that it doesn't have a lot of video shooting modes. You're limited to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're limited to 4 modes on the phone. I think they're great modes. Now, don't get it twisted. I gave it a pro before because I still think that it's a good camera. It's just that it doesn't have a lot of shooting modes, and that's unfortunate because it has a 13 megapixel in the front and the rear. So con. Alright, this is where I'll get into testing the phone's speed. So I'm going to go ahead and close this app out, and then I'm going to go in through multiple apps and see how fast they open. So yeah, speed doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. Like I said, it's not super fast, but it's pretty snappy, so we'll take it. That's a Pro. It's pretty good. Another pro I would have for the phone is that it has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So that's nice to always have on a cell phone. It sucks that a lot more flagships don't have them, but at least we got it here, so that is a pro. Alright, so my closing thoughts for the Samsung Galaxy J7 Refine. If you're using this as like an outdoor camera, I would definitely recommend it for that only because it's very rugged and durable. I've dropped this on many occasions and I have yet to scratch my screen nor crack it, break it. The only thing I have is a chipped some paint off on the side of the corner. Other than that, this phone is held up pretty well. Even with being dropped, it still runs great. So rugged and durable, I would say that this phone is worth it. It's pretty cheap. It's a budget phone, of course, but it should be pretty cheap now compared to what it was when it first came out. And again, rugged and durable, so I like that about this phone. I like that it has a nice screen. It has a nice display. Even at 720p, it has a nice display, and I mean, for 60 hertz, it's pretty fast. You know what I'm saying? It goes pretty fast. It's not the slowest I've seen. It's not the fastest, but it's about in between. So it's passable. Would I recommend buying this phone? I would recommend buying it for outdoor use only. As a main, I wouldn't. Not at all. Not enough features. The charging being a big issue. Micro USB over Type C. That would be a huge issue. So yeah, I would not recommend this phone for a main, but if you're using it for outdoor use, it's rugged and durable, and I would say go for it. So yeah, that is my review of the Samsung Galaxy J7 Refine. This was the last phone I had here for now to review, so hopefully you guys like this. Until the next one, you guys take care. Peace.
like it's closer to the surfboard.